Guys, I built several restaurants from the Cheers formula. You know, people want to go where everyone knows their name. It's all about capturing the market and then building loyalty and repeat business. Today I'm talking with Mr. Dyson Barnett, and we're going to be talking all about the power of birthday marketing. That's right, everyone has a birthday. And we're going to show you how you can get new business in the door, and not just a two-top, but a whole party, all from birthday marketing. Dyson's tagline is collect, connect, and cash in. And don't miss my show notes to this episode, as we're going to show you how you can do just that. Welcome back, everyone, to the Restaurant RockStars Podcast, engaging topics that help restaurants build their brands, rock their profits, deliver amazing guest service experiences. In today's episode, we're going to talk about two of those things: building your brand and basically, developing what I call affinity with your customer. Okay, affinity is defined as an extreme loyalty or sense of belonging. Every business, every restaurant needs this. Really excited to have Mr. Dyson Barnett today, a company called Fan Connect. Welcome to the show, Dyson. How are you?
Hey, man. Thanks. Doing good here.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining me. We always start this show with the guest backstory, how you got into what I call this crazy restaurant business. Tell us your story.
Oh, yeah, thanks. So my story is pretty, it's long, but I feel like I have restauranting poured into my blood because my family's been in restauranting for, it seems like forever, from England all the way over here, with probably about 100 plus years of experience. I've been in the back of the house washing dishes, although I didn't like it. I've managed some staff as well and hired some good and bad folks as well. And also I got into this whole thing about, the guest experience more so. So I've been doing this for, I want to say at least 30 years, 25 years, something like that.
Fantastic. So that's a tremendous amount of experience to bring to bear on your current position with Fan Connect. So Fan Connect is a really interesting company that has a suite of services, marketing related. We have Wi-Fi marketing, mobile marketing, but I think today we're really going to focus in on birthday marketing. That's really the meat of the podcast episode today, and how you can develop a core audience. And let's face it, this is the bread and butter of your business. If you can get more business and get them to come back again and again, that's the whole crux of what we're talking about, right?
That's right. That's right.
So you have an interesting tagline. I've been on your website quite a bit, and it says, get more customers, increase sales, earn more profits. But here's the part I like: collect, connect, and cash in. Why don't you take it from there and walk us through this?
Yeah, so through the years, one of the things that drives me crazy is I've noticed a lot of people, restaurateurs in specific, we have guests coming in and out every single day of the week, right? And it drives me crazy that we're not collecting their information. And a lot of folks say that it's so difficult to do it. Well, when you collect that information, then what do? You have to connect with the buyer, right? Those experiences, keeping that memorable experience top of the mind and keeping your restaurant top of the mind. And then lastly, if you're doing all these things, just, three basic things: collecting, connecting, you get to cash in. So that's what I want to talk to everybody about today: is how do you go about, collecting that customer information? How do you connect with your buyer? And more importantly, how do you cash in? And birthdays are probably one of the best ways to do that, right? I mean, everybody has a birthday.
Absolutely. And it goes without saying that so many people go out to dinner on their birthday because it's a special occasion, right? So there's a connection right there.
Right. And it's funny that, we ask restaurateurs all the time, what's the number one event that happens in your restaurant? And everybody reaches for, it could be this, it could be that, it's a holiday, it's Mother's Day. And undoubtedly Mother's Day is one of the big ones, but the biggest one is a birthday, because every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year, there's a birthday occurring.
For sure. Okay. Do you want to start with collecting the customer information?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So collecting the customer information is really important. And a lot of people grapple with this sort of thing, like, how do I do that? We offer some technology that makes it really simple for restaurateurs to do that, which is almost hands-free. So a lot of us today are getting into offering free Wi-Fi for our customers, right? Well, that's a great way for you to acquire customer content, like their email address, their mobile number, some Facebook data. And we provide that technology that simply plugs right in to your existing wireless internet, creates a new guest Wi-Fi so that it's easier for your customers. Nobody has to flag down, the wait staff and say, hey, what's your password? They're simply going to use their email address, or they're going to use their Facebook account, or even their mobile number. All of a sudden they get access to the internet, and then you, as a restaurateur, get the great holy grail, the customer data. So you not only are you getting the email, the mobile, the Facebook data, you can get gender information, birthday information from Facebook. In addition to that, you can also collect that stuff too from your basic Wi-Fi simply by using this add-on tool. So that's one way.
Okay.
Yeah. The second way is, mobile. Everybody's got a mobile phone, and obviously, if they're going to connect to your Wi-Fi, they also have a mobile phone or a tablet that they brought with them. Well, here's the thing: you can actually, on your Facebook page, on your kiosks or table tents, you can say, hey, text my keyword, your restaurant name, to a short code, and now all of a sudden you can greet them with a little bit of information about your restaurant, maybe a menu of yours in their phone now. Right? Simply by texting in, they can have your menu, hours of operation, what are you known for, the ability to book an event. So those are really great ways that you can use two basic technologies to really start flooding your database.
Fantastic. Now, the old school way for me was email marketing. I mean, I've been in this business for 25 years, but if you were to go back in time 15, 20 years ago, I was collecting comment cards from my customers asking for an email address capture. And even though that was very, very effective for me, and we did an online, a digital newsletter every 2 weeks or so, that was very interactive. I mean, technology is so much farther ahead today. And what you're talking about takes that to the 20th century, right? 25th century.
Oh yeah, and no doubt. One of the things that we still do, believe it or not, in the mobile marketing side is when you go and text in that keyword, we'll also give you a bounce back that we want to acquire that email address as well. And the reason why is for what you just said. Mobile message is very short and concise. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you put a link in there, you can actually tie your email and mobile together, therefore making that customer experience even better.
Well, that's what I'm all about. I like that part the best, okay?
Yeah.
You're constantly improving the impression with the customer, their ability to understand what your restaurant is all about and to feel like this is my kind of place. I like what they're doing. I like what, when I come in, I have a good time. And it's top of mind, I think that's critical.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we get into all that, and that's the collect point. That's the number one thing I can't stress to enough people who's listening to this is collect data. It's so important, so valuable to you that it'll hands down be everything and anything to your business moving forward.
And are you specifically relating to touch points here?
Well, yeah. I mean, so, once you get to this point where you've collected that data, the touch points become so important, right? The number one thing that you always have to remember is people are dining out for a couple different reasons, but the biggest thing that they expect from you is an experience, right? So this touch point, every single month you have a commercial holiday that you can reach a customer on and expose your restaurant, maintain that top of the mind, but more importantly, get that customer not only thinking of you, but expecting some type of situation from you or an event from you. So it really gives you that opportunity to not only keep you in front of the buyer, but more importantly, set up an expectation, set up a holiday expectation.
And this all ties really well into brand building. There's so many restaurants out there that are running restaurants. They're not running brands. They're not running businesses. They're not figuring out all the ways that they can. Well, let me back up a second. I mean, I don't need to tell the audience or yourself that it's so much more expensive to acquire a new customer than to continue to market to your existing customers. It's really that simple.
Oh yeah, no doubt. It's 5 to 10 times more expensive to do, run out and get a customer. Because first things first is you get this customer, you find somebody, you might have done it a couple different ways to find somebody that has, the palate for what your restaurant's all about, number one. But number two is when they come there, I'm not sure if many people know that they may not return. It's a very high number of, the very first time I visit your establishment, I may not return. So
for a variety of reasons.
Yeah, I mean, for lots of reasons. But conversely, if you have a customer database, you've collected this content like we've been talking about, you can not only get them to come back, but it's most likely they're going to spend about 64% more than your new customer. So why not focus on that?
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that part. Okay, cool. So let's move on to the whole power of birthdays.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So this is
I can tell
interesting.
you're really jazzed about this topic, and I'm
Oh
going to
yeah, I love birthdays because what's not to love about a birthday, right? Everybody feels good for the most part. Some not so much so for the women, but it's always about, I'm turning a year older. It's a celebration of your birth, all that good stuff. Your friends, your family, coworkers, everybody seems to want to participate in this. If you ask a restaurateur if he or she likes birthdays, most likely you're going to get, oh yeah, we love birthdays. And the reason why we love birthdays is because first off, everyone has one. You don't have to invent an opportunity. So because of that, the only thing you need to be able to do is invite a guest to come to your restaurant, to enjoy your restaurant, and that literally is going to start growing your sales. In so many ways, it's not even funny. So, the first thing is you look at a birthday, you say to yourself, okay, so a birthday, everyone has one. We just got through that. But the thing is that when people come to your restaurant, you're talking about, I think they say the average number of tops on a restaurant is like 2.3 or less than 3 people per tabletop. So when you look at a restaurant with a birthday, all of a sudden you're talking about 3, 8, 10, 12, 20 people that are coming for a birthday party. That's why I love it.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So what let's walk through the nuts and bolts of how Fan Connect collects the data and how you can then communicate. Well, what people's birthdays are and all that sort of thing. How does the whole thread work from start to finish so that now you're getting lots and lots of birthday business with these increased, tabletops? Instead of 2s and 4s, you're getting those 8s and 10s and 12s and turning this into a real celebration.
Oh yeah, so the very first thing is there's two schools here, right? One is I want to get new customers. The other one's I want to keep my customers.
Mm-hmm.
So we focus on both of them at the same time for restaurateurs. So around your restaurant, 3, 5, 10, 15 miles are guests every single day that are having a birthday. Chances are 80% of those people have never came to your restaurant. And they don't even know that you exist or that you offer something unique for their birthday. So that's the first place that we focus on is how can we bring you new guests and transform them into regulars, transform them into raving fans and then influencers. So that's one. The second one is we have these diners. These diners, every single one of them have a birthday. So the collection process is very simple. First, we empower every restaurant that we work with a digital kiosk right up front with a beautiful floor stand that says, happy birthday, join our birthday club. And it's very simple. The buyer, your customer, comes right up to the kiosk and enters in their 10-digit phone number. That's it. And then all of a sudden the magic begins. So what we do is they enter in that 10-digit number. And then after they enter in that 10-digit number, they're going to get a bounce back. And the bounce back could be whatever we suggest. And typically it's an appetizer or something like that, valid for 10 days or 2 weeks. So our goal is to get that customer back in the door at least that one more time before the birthday. If they miss that kiosk, which would be strange that they do because it's usually in brilliant color and it's big and it's just there. Yeah. If they miss it, but if they do and they sit down at the table, that's where the Wi-Fi action comes in place. So our solution comes with a digital Wi-Fi component that's going to collect that customer data that we talked about before. But at the same time, immediately we can send them a text message or email that says, hey, thanks for visiting us. Hope you enjoyed your meal. By the way, join our birthday club. Okay, so we do that. And if you've signed in with Facebook, we already have your birthday data. So it's really nice in that area. So now we've collected this data and we do 2 things. At the beginning of every month, we're going to invite as many guests as you want to your restaurant. Some restaurants, want a little bit of customers coming their way. Some want the whole world to know about it. So that would be a larger establishment. And then we give them that offer, right? So the offer is really important. So we, discuss with all of our restaurateurs, this is a gift. It's not a promotion. It's not a coupon. It's a gift. So let's go ahead and give the customer a free meal on their birthday or a $20 gift card, your choice, okay? Usable during their entire month of their birthday. And the reason why we do that is because friends and family have one idea of what to do, especially if they haven't been talking to you beforehand. They have one idea of what to do for your birthday, but you probably have a lot of different ideas of what you want to do on your birthday too. So we give you that entire month to enjoy the opportunity of dining with one of the restaurants that we're promoting. And so you come into the restaurant, you've got this offer with you, and you activate the offer. See, whenever you do a direct mailer, you want to make sure that you capture that information, because having the mailing address is one thing, but having pertinent digital content is most important. So when you come in, our system allows you to go capture all that data, which becomes future marketing. And it's the same thing inside of your restaurant.
Very good. So let's talk about the direct mail part of this. How does that all fit in?
Yeah, so the direct mail, we have a proprietary database that's refreshed every single month across the nation. And we basically know the month and day of your birthday. It's not so much that we need to worry about how old you are, but we do know the month and day of your birthday. So we work with the restaurateur. We get this promotion of, the free meal or this $20 gift card. We print something beautiful, right? And we mail it out to the customer before the first of the month. That way we hit every single person for the month of April, for instance. We would hit every single person around your restaurant, and we work with you to decide, is it 3 miles, is it 5 miles? Because different brands and different food types, you may not be able to draw your community greater than 10 miles away or greater than 5 miles away for that matter. So it all depends on, what type of restaurant you are, and we help you understand what to do, and we design that message for you, and we send it out for you, we measure it for you, and more importantly, build the database for you.
You mentioned something critical a few moments ago about different restaurants wanting different levels of activity, whether you're a larger restaurant or a smaller place. And how do you dial that in so that it's a sweet spot balance where they're not overwhelmed with business, but they're really happy with the business they get? And how you make those decisions based on the restaurant type, number of seats, all that sort of thing?
Yeah, you just hit the nail on the head. Restaurant type, number of seats, right? That's a clear indication as to what your restaurant really can take as far as input goes. So I'll give you an example. We have one restaurateur. It's the business name is Julian's Little Italy. It's a great place. He's only got 22 tables. Right? So we don't want to flood him by sending out 1,000 invitations for a happy birthday, right? So what we did is we dialed it back. We started at 600 so we can create some noise in the community, create and generate some goodwill and word of mouth, and more importantly, get to the point where he has people coming in the door. Well, surprisingly, he had turned around and said, oh my gosh, wait, you guys got to stop because I'm getting inundated. And my staff doesn't have enough time to catch their breath, and the kitchen is being overworked. So what we find is when you're between, that 18 to 24 tables, you want to do 300 to 600 guest invitations. When you get over that, maybe 80 some people for your occupancy, and you get more into like the 100, 150, you want to go more into like the 1,000, 1,500. Once you go over that 150, you're going to start really needing, and multi-location, you're going to really start needing larger numbers, by the numbers for the birthdays. You'll need larger communities, multiple communities that you're accessing. So we do look at all those things and help you define what you're looking for. And then we do one more thing. We also want to know what it is. If you don't have a customer database, this might be a little difficult for you to tell, but one of the things that we do is we can actually mine your customers. So for instance, let's say that you don't know how much your customer makes, and then we're guessing, right? So, let's say that you're a fast casual. Obviously that customer only, they don't need to make a lot of money because we're all going to spend what we spend. But if you're not fast casual and you're a casual buyer, $15 to $30 plates, you're going to want someone that has, an income of $45,000 or more. So our data that we have in our database, we can actually pair the right customer with your restaurant. So from there, we're going to send them the right buyer. As time goes on and you're with our company, we can actually take samplings of your database and pair the perfect customer to your restaurant. So that's important.
Okay, my gears are turning now, Dyson, and I'm
Awesome.
curious I'm going to use the term hit rate. So you got this direct mail campaign, and you decide the number of mile radius surrounding your restaurant and all this kind of stuff. And these mailers go out to all these people with birthdays and whatnot. Is there a percentage on average of all your customer restaurants that literally, or a percentage of people that respond to the offer and actually come in and use it? I'm sure you've tracked all this.
Oh yeah, so our average is about 11% return. which is amazing because when you take a direct mail, it's, uh, half to maybe 1.5% return. So ours is 11%. We have found restaurants that have been in the community for at least 5 years or more tend to get much higher percentage take up, much higher. I mean, we've seen things like 30%, which is amazing. That's because, the community itself may be a little more mature. It might also be that you've been there for 5 years or greater. And then all of a sudden people kind of know what you're about and all that good stuff. If you're a new restaurant, it's going to be a little lower because the customer doesn't know what to expect of you yet. They don't know anybody that's had an experience with you yet, but you will get a return on the investment either way.
Now, of your customer or client restaurants that are using Fan Connect and the Birthday Club, have you been able to track the number of birthdays per month per se that these restaurants are experiencing where they're having these parties in-house, the celebration?
Yes. Yeah. On average, it ranges anywhere from 12 to 40 on average.
Okay. 12 to 40. That's all right.
Now, if you're a little more established here, right, and you're doing a larger campaign, you could easily see 30 to 90. It's quite amazing, actually. You might actually get really, really inundated where you having, your whole restaurant in one evening could be a birthday. So, or at least a greater majority of people anyway.
Your staff better get really good at singing the birthday song and not get tired of it,
right? A lot of people, it's kind of funny. One of the things that we're starting to get into as well is creating, the excitement in a box for you. So creating that birthday in a box promotion so that you have balloons, you have a card maybe even for your customer, you have a little bit of confetti you can put on the table. So now all of a sudden it really does feel like a celebration. And maybe you won't have to stress everybody out with singing happy birthday.
Yeah, you're bringing me back to when I ran restaurants. So a long time ago, we came across these amazing birthday candles that literally shot a stream of sparks out of the top of the candle, 2 or 3 feet off the top of the dessert. It sat in like this golf tee thing. You put it in the dessert and the server would light the end of it. And, I don't want to give you the idea that this is unsafe or pyrotechnics. They're totally designed for birthday parties. They're totally safe. And the server would light it, and then the whole team would do the birthday thing and walk to the tables. And if that didn't make a splash within the restaurant where suddenly every table turns around to see, and you can see the sparks, and then the whole restaurant erupts in applause. It was huge. Oh, yeah. And that's a hook. So in combination with what you guys are doing, I love the birthday box idea. I mean, this is a real way to touch the customer in a real personal way. It makes them feel special, right?
No, yeah, right. And one of the things I want to touch on with what you said is what's interesting is when your restaurant has a birthday party and you are singing birthdays, it's actually known that your sales around that birthday party actually increase. People feel like they're part of the celebration somehow. People do clap, they do raise a little hoopla, right? Yeah. And then all of a sudden they're buying a drink. So yeah, it's really good.
I don't doubt that at all. I don't. I mean, restaurants have impulse sales that happen all the time based on the atmosphere that you create and how the customer is feeling at that moment. And it all ties in. It's fantastic. I like that.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun. It's, that's why I love birthdays because there's nothing disappointing, nothing that's not fun about it. So
with a direct mail campaign, there's an interesting statistic you and I were talking about, and I think it's even mentioned on your website, but literally 93% of people actually look for and expect to get birthday cards in the mail.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. So you look at this, I think we've all been raised the right way, right? We all get something in the mail from a loved one or whatever. And chances are you're also looking for a small token or gift inside of that, right? I mean, that's how I was brought up. I'm sure you were brought up that way. A lot of folks still get that. Yes. And it's not the same as getting a text message or an email. Mm-hmm. So what's beautiful about this is, well, yes, your existing customer, you can send that text message or email. You can even ask us to send them a physical card as well. What's really important is, guess what they do? They wake up in the morning and they go to their mailbox and they look for this, this mail. And so what better way to go and say, hey, happy birthday, stand out from everything else that's in the mail, promote your business, and it's this feel good, right? So let's say, maybe you come home and you're fishing through the mail and all of a sudden you get this card from, Dyson's Bistro, right?
Yes.
And it says, hey, happy birthday, come on in and, get a free meal on us, celebrate with us, right? That's something you're going to talk about. Even if you didn't go that night or that following day, you're going to go into work and go say, oh yeah, well, where are you going for your birthday? I don't know, I was thinking about going to Dyson's Bistro. They sent me this birthday card, right? So now all of a sudden you've energized that goodwill, that word of mouth. You're stimulating this person. They feel good about what they did. But yes, 93% of people look forward to getting something from someone on their birthday.
And the return on investment is really, really big. And this really jazzes me the most because what you're giving away to the birthday recipient is literally pennies on the dollar according to your food cost. It's not dollar for dollar.
No, absolutely not.
But then the real kicker is how many people come in and actually pay full boat. And that's, that's all.
That's the whole thing, right? So,
your
cost of customer acquisition is really, really important here, right? So we got to think to ourselves, so there's two schools of thumb here again, right? The first one is my existing customer. The second one is this birthday party that was just brought to us. So the first one is, yes, I gave, I'm giving you a free meal, but that price that you're paying, that gift that you gave to the community, this person it's unmatched. It's invaluable to you because if you're like every other restaurant that believes you grow your business by word of mouth, you can't get any better than that. I mean, that's positive reinforcement. That's a positive statement. And it says something about your restaurant because guess what? Your competition most likely is not doing this.
This is true. And let's not forget about the marketing value of social media when these birthday people are partying, having a great time, and the camera phones come out, and then suddenly it's all over social media, and that's free advertising for your business.
Oh yeah, I mean, one of the things that we hear a lot of, and we even talk to our restaurateurs about, is go to that table and don't miss an opportunity to, bring your staff's mobile phone, your mobile phone, their mobile phone, whatever, take the picture for them and ask them if you'd like to share it. Is it okay if I share it for you, right? Because this is a celebration that's happening at your place. And guess what your customer is going to do? You take the picture, they're going to do the same. Because all you have to do is say to the customer, hey, do you have your phone? I'll take a picture of the group too. That way everybody remembers it.
Right. Absolutely. And look at that. I mean, that's just compounded networking right there.
That's
because
right.
Several people in the party are going to share that, and everybody's got a list and everybody's got followers. And more than likely, a lot of those people are in the neighborhood where this restaurant is. And beautiful thing.
Man, you got this thing going. That's right.
Well, it's the way my mind works. It's the way I ran my brand. My restaurants were all about touching the customer in a personal way, giving them lots of reasons to come back and building affinity with the customer. And that's what we're talking about. Yeah,
exactly. And, speaking of affinity, so one thing that we didn't touch on that I think is really, really important is I think, affinity also turns into membership, right? And so one of the things with our solution is a membership application. So when the customer comes in and they've joined your Wi-Fi and they've got the mobile, what better person to enjoy your restaurant by prepaying you for what it is that you want them to experience and stretching your brand recognition. So we have great solutions that we can literally walk you through in how you can energize your customer to come to you back to your restaurant 4, 8, 12, 16, 32 times. Different measures, whether it be a month-to-month subscription type product, an annual subscription product, maybe, a black card or a special Onyx program that's exclusive to your restaurant. And these are the things that we do. We do exclusive membership that makes sure that you're not only benefiting from your customer list, you're not just benefiting from our birthday promotions and our celebrations, but you're also benefiting from your customer. So helping them prepay, what restaurant wouldn't want 3,000 people to prepay, $20 a month to their restaurant? That's amazing.
Upfront. Well, that's why it says increased cash flow on the screen. That's exactly
right. That's right.
I love it. That's cool. So you have a marketing suite of services. This birthday thing is a really powerful example of touching everyone because everybody's got a birthday. So it's a monthly membership and you continue to get new business and repeat business. And then the same people that have a birthday a year later probably want to do the same thing because the memories are fresh in their mind, right? Of what last year's birthday was like.
That's right. Right. So you have that. So a couple things that we do is one of the things is we're going to also tell you halfway through the year, guess what? You're halfway through this, right?
Yeah.
You're so we invent new ways to talk to people. But not only do we have that, but with that, we also have the ability for them to invite their friends and family to experience you. So the system itself is intelligent enough that on 6 months, as it's operating in your business, it's going to ask every single one of your patrons to go in and refer a friend, family, or relative to you, because we figured out that this thing of reciprocity inside of your business generates fantastic goodwill. So because it is digital, we give your patrons the ability to refer 5 to 10 friends every 6 months. Think of it, for a second. If you grow your database 1,000 people, right? Your average ticket's $40. That means that you have the ability to generate over $40,000 worth of business. And then we go and invite 5 people that are just like you, that live in the neighborhood, that would easily enjoy your product. Now all of a sudden you can grow that database to 5,000, 10,000 people, and you just increase your averages of opportunity vastly. And that's year over year.
I love that word opportunity. And I always refer to businesses or restaurant owners or managers as being opportunists and continuing for new opportunity, not just stand in the window and wait for the customers to walk in the door. It's like, this is being really proactive and going out and getting the business and building that loyalty with the customer and exponentially expanding the marketing firepower here.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what you should be doing. I mean, because we're in the people business, It happens to be that we cook great food and we have a neat environment that you'll appreciate, but we are in the people business. So
yeah, I would also relate this to service. I've always said there are the three most critical attributes of any successful restaurant are obviously food, service, and ambiance. And the food and the food and the ambiance are givens, right? You expect the food to be good when you go out to eat. You expect there to be a comfortable atmosphere. But people have high expectations of what the service is, and you either over-deliver on the service and how you touch those customers in a personal way, or you drop the ball and people won't come back even if the food is fantastic and you got that cool ambiance.
Absolutely. I mean, there's nothing like, advertising and marketing, such a great experience, happy birthday, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden the customer grabs us, woohoo, come on guys, let's go to, Dyson's Bistro. They swing open the door and, their staff is ignorant and just not very helpful to the customer. They don't care that the customer is there. They don't recognize that this is a meaningful event. They don't do anything to make them feel like a king or queen. All of a sudden you just basically shot yourself in the foot. So our marketing, we did great. We got this customer in the door, but we did badly because we can't get them back in the door at the level of service. Absolutely. So that's so important. It's key. Right on.
Yeah, that's my gig. I mean, I'm all about service and training and daily training so that you're treating every customer as if they're a loyal, regular customer, like they're an old friend, even if they're a first-time visitor. I mean, that's the basic philosophy here. And then this is just icing on the cake on how you're going to get new business, get the repeat business coming, and then recognize those customers for their birthdays. Man, this is powerful stuff. It's service, it's marketing, it's that relationship building, it's all of it.
I like the icing on the cake part.
Right? Because it's a birthday. Right? Absolutely.
That's right.
Cool. Is there anything we're missing? Anything more that you want to tell the audience?
So I think the last piece of this really is going to be rewarding your customer.
Yeah, the rewards. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, I don't know if a lot of people really know this or not, but in restauranting, I still think it's crazy that not a lot of folks have a loyalty or rewards program yet. I'm not sure what they're waiting for, but I'm really surprised. I mean, every day we talk to a restaurateur that's thought about it, heard about it, never tried it. But here's the thing. Everyone listening to this should recognize that a restaurant with a rewards program is 88% more profitable than one without. Just let me repeat that.
That's a staggering statistic. Let me hear that again.
It's ridiculous. It's 88% more profitable. Not more business, more profitable than a business without.
Right.
So, and here's why. A few moments ago when we first started off this discussion, we were talking about how less expensive it is to get a new customer, or rather get your customer coming back in,
Yes.
than it is to get a new customer, and how they'll spend 64% more. Well, listen, if it's 10 times more expensive and they're spending 64% more, then yeah, you're going to be at least 80% or more, which, by the way, if you have at least 5% of your customer base loyal and talking about your business will grow by 75%, just 5%. And that's a perfect reason why you want to get in the habit of rewarding great behavior. Rewarding your customer is not about, giving things away. Nobody in the restaurant industry wants to do that. Rewarding your customer can be so many different things, and you want to do it based on frequency and monetization. So you have great customers that spend a lot of money, but you also have great customers that are coming to you all the time. And what you have to think about is, how do I position my business in a rewarding way for my buyer? So it's really simple. You get a rewards program, you key into that, you work with your provider like Van Connect, and we tell you what's going to work for your business so that you can pretty much have a hands-off approach, but you're going through this process. Your customers' expectations is being reached, and more importantly, you've just done all the things right? You get this customer talking about you. You've gotten this ability to increase the frequency and how recent they come to you. And more importantly, we already have increased how much money you're making. Here's the point. If a customer comes to you 2 times in a month, and now all of a sudden they come back just once, in an entire year, just once, you're going to increase your business like mad. I mean, think about this for a second. I get 1,000 people, like we said a moment ago, in my database, and they only come back once. That's $40,000.
One customer.
I mean,
staggering.
Right. This is why you can see that number, 88%, is a real number.
Yeah, and it's all about the profit piece.
Bingo.
Profits is what you're all about, because I see busy restaurants all the time that are filling their seats, but they're just not profitable.
Yeah.
And huge difference there. So,
you don't have to coupon your business to death, right? No. Couponing is good for some things, but not great for everything. To put butts in your seats, it really shouldn't be a coupon that's doing that. It should be value, it should be opportunity, and it should be birthdays, and it should be anniversaries. Those are the reasons why the biggest reasons why they dine out. Is because most people don't want to have 8 or 10 people in their home that they're cooking a meal for, and serving dessert, and sitting around and trying to figure out what to do, and some coffee, and then by the time everybody leaves, you're like, great, John, that was a great birthday, I hope you enjoyed it. Oh, by the way, can you help me do some dishes? That's why they come to your restaurant.
Yeah, I love the birthday club idea. You guys working on an anniversary club next?
Yeah, actually, we do have, so our newest application, we were turning from birthday clubs into special occasions club. So, we call it Put Your Socks On, SOC, Special Occasions Club.
I like that. That's cool, SOC. Let me ask you a question. With the direct mail and even those custom cards we were talking about, do you have graphics people that work with the customer?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We have a full team of graphics on hand in-house. They range anywhere from, doing like quick serve all the way out to fine dine to, your fast casuals, all those good things, so that we hit the nail on the head the first time so that we're not wasting your time. Because, one thing that we know is if we give you too many choices, your head starts spinning and you get different ideas. So we have these really good, they're not templates, they're literally designed for your restaurant. So these are the good things. So we're not going to go and send out a seafood mailer for one restaurant and another seafood restaurant has the same look and feel, because obviously that's defeating this idea of your brand.
Exclusivity kind of gets diluted. Again, it's all about being on brand and on strategy, and I'm sure that's what the graphics people are doing. They're getting into the brand and understanding the brand and then coming up with something unique and special. And same thing with the kiosk, right?
Oh yeah, the kiosk is your brand. It's going to be your logo brilliantly right in front of that customer. The buttons on the kiosk are designed around the colors of your logo. So it's that natural feel that it feels like, hey, this is their thing. It's not ours, it's yours. This is your birthday club. We're the manager of it. That's all.
This is great. I
Thanks.
just refer to this as marketing firepower and outgunning the competition, right?
Exactly. That's pretty much what it is.
Why else
Because
be in this business, man? This is a competitive business. It's all about sales and profit and giving great service. And the relationships we build with our customers really what makes it satisfying.
oh yeah, I mean, and it's sad, but there's a lot of folks that put so much money and time and effort into this, and they simply just don't get what you just said. They think that they're just running a kitchen, and there's a difference between a kitchen and a restaurant.
So you have a free demo, and I'm going to put a link to this free demo for the listeners and the audience and the viewers today, and you'll just sort of walk them through how this works for their restaurant, right?
Absolutely, but we'll get find out a little bit about you, your restaurant. What's great about your restaurant. What are you most known for? Then we take you through the journey. The journey really is how do we put butts in your seats? How do we keep them coming back? And more importantly, how do you get them talking about your restaurant more often? Because word of mouth is so important. And then lastly is how do you win and cash in?
Fantastic. Okay, so it's collect, connect, and cash in.
Bingo.
Fantastic. This was a great conversation, Dyson. It's really exciting stuff, and I'm glad you took the time to join me today.
Thanks, man. I had fun. Thank you.
Well, fantastic. Well, that was the Restaurant RockStars podcast again, folks. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time. Rockstars, thanks for tuning into this latest episode. I hope you check out the link in my show notes that'll give you a free demo on the power of birthday marketing with Fan Connect. And if you're looking for other powerful resources to rock your restaurant, make sure you go to restaurantrockstars.com. We have all the episodes in the past archived. There's 156 episodes now of the Restaurant RockStars podcast on all different topics that'll help you run a stronger operation. And we'll see you in the next episode.